Hello, my friends. I'm excited about these patch notes. Let's see what we got. I was out. I literally have not seen anything about patch notes, so it's gonna be fresh take. Where they nerfed Aller and Ansel. Wow, that's crazy. All right, chat. Let's get started on the patch notes. Okay, let's get started. Let me change my scene. Okay. All right, guys. So we're gonna start off with the 9.2 bonus update. That's gonna be live in 2 weeks. Let's take a look at what they changed. This is usually balance changes with items. Let's see. We don't really care about the skins. Although, Corrupted Kenshin Mulan looks pretty good. Not gonna lie. Oh, that Kuzemo skin actually looks sick. Alright. Alright, let's go. Here we go. First item, they target the flat pen on mages. Interesting. Let's see what it says. A little help, thank you so much. These nerfs should be significant decrease in damage for mages, and with the Berserker Shield rework in the main patch, we will see a significant damage reduction from them as well. The two biggest sources of frustration in Smite right now. Alright. Decreased magical pen from 15 to 12. Alright. Divine Rune, decreased magical pen from 15 to 12. Okay, I mean these are okay nerfs. Nothing crazy. 6 overall flat pen. 2 items. That's okay. It's not bad. I thought they were gonna nerf the power or something, but the pen is better to nerf. The pen is more damage. So alright. Interesting. Very small nerf. We'll see. We'll see. I like that they didn't over nerf the items because mages last year were very bad, and I think they need a little limelight, a little time in the sun. Because they were awful last year. Like I thought they were the worst role last year by far. That's why Hunters got played in mid. And so okay, so they did a Spirit Desolation too. All right. I mean, I think they're okay nerfs. We'll see how it goes. Celestial Legion Helm. Now this item definitely needed a nerf. Decreased magic power from 90 to 80. This nerf doesn't do anything to the item, okay? The item's still good. Really good. Still 2100 gold. Still has the prot, still has the really good passive. So this item, yes, it got a little bit of a magic power nerf, but still very much viable. Still gonna be built on everyone, on every like Guardian or like Guardian Solo or Mage ADC. So small nerf. I like that they're not killing the item, but yeah. It's not really going to do much. Seer of the Jungle. Oh, hold on 1 second, guys. Coffee. Thanks, man. Coffee here. A coffee, you know. All right, Seer of the Jungle. They're nerfing this. Bro, they're nerfing a jungler item? Oh, they're nerfing it because other roles were getting it, right? Like mids were getting this. Like Zeus's were getting this item and things like that. They probably just wanted to deal with item power creep. Yeah, exactly. So when an item designated for one role gets built in other roles, that's when usually they see slight nerfs or like changes. Okay. It says wards win games, thus being able to take out wards is even a more powerful way to win the game. This item has become the #1 jungle item, and for good reason. The passive has an internal cooldown, which can lead to some clunky situations, so we are removing this, while also nerfing that stat to keep other jungle starters in close competition with Seer. Gotcha. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen Seer the Jungle on every single jungler in my rank game, so that's interesting. So decrease physical power from 70 to 65, magical power from 105 to 95, decrease attack speed, and remove the eternal cooldown of 15 seconds. All right. I mean, slight nerfs, still be built. Next up, Belt of the Berserker. Bro, this item, so broken. This relic has seen a huge increase in purchase rate, especially at higher skilled tiers. Frenzy relics have been quite powerful over the years, even though they were mostly viewed as a more fringe strategy. Now that players have finally seen the light, I like how they put the I forget the word. It was epidemic? No, something like that. Anyway, Now that the players have finally seen the light, we are nerfing the more powerful of the two relics in the tree. Decrease initial damage buff from 35%, 25% decrease initial attack speed buff from 50%, 40%. Much needed nerf. This item was definitely broken. It's still really good, so, but maybe less crazy. Decent nerf. Now I forget the word. It's like it's like when you put the, what is it, nuance? No, I don't remember what the word is. Anyway, what year is it? Zeus needs a nerf. His most recent buff gave him attack speed and movement speed. Had a huge impact on the god, skyrocketed him from a meme god to an actual SPL first pick. First pick that lost. Anyway, sorry. We are very happy with the gameplay feel and well-rounded combat he received from this recent buff. So we'll be nerfing other parts of Zeus, of his kit instead. Zeus has historically had huge burst damage, which he now relies on less. Detonates base damage is coming down at all ranks to tone down the god of gods. Decrease base damage from 60, 90, 120, 150, 180 to, okay, so 10 flat. And then through the 1.7 2.4x multipliers, this is the following effects on detonate at 2 and 3 stacks. Okay. Yeah, decent nerfs. That's decent nerfs to Zeus. I think that's good. I think the movement speed and attack speed make him feel really good to play and fun to play, and just nerfing the 3 will be a significant nerf, but also it won't feel bad to like your everyday player. So I like that. It's a good nerf. Oh, my girl Soul, bro. How are they going to do this? Oh, this mage ADC continues to put up huge numbers in ranked win rate while also being a top pick and ban. Soul can provide a huge amount of pressure through her basic attacks, which get a significant boost in damage through her passive. This passive ramps up, but also provides a huge bonus when maxed out. And this is the aspect we have chosen to bring down. This will smooth out her power curve and bring her top end down her top end damage, especially against towers and jungle bosses. Decrease the buff on Soul's basic attack while at max heat, and 20% to 15% damage. Yeah, this is where they nerfed her before, so we'll see. We'll see how much this matters. A decent nerf. It nerfs. See, like, it's not like a crazy nerf early game, but it nerfs her scaling. Like, it nerfs her damage as the game goes on. So this could be a big deal late game. We'll see. Early game, this doesn't really matter. Mid game, late game, you're gonna start to notice it a lot more. Right? Instead of like auto tagging for 200, you're gonna auto tag for like 180. Right? It's a significant decrease in DPS. But okay. I think it's a fair nerf. She was really strong. Izanami. I can't believe Izanami's getting nerfed. I can't stand this god. I really can't. I think this god is so gimmicky and just like gets you pressure without having to be good at the game. I don't like it. I don't like her play style. Even though I will admit she's good. She's a good god. The Instant Clear Hunter is certainly performing well in this new season and new early game objectives. Izanami is seeing more pro play than ever with a focus on early pressure she can provide. To nerf this from level 1, we are decreasing her base power and attack speed, which will have subtle effects but should slow her down. So nerfing the base power and attack speed in the early game is felt so strongly, because some gods, like, just to put into like a really like basic perspective, it's like some gods you think you hit for like 70 plus, some gods you hit for like 50 plus, and you can really notice it. Good example, this is like Cupid. Cupid has really low base power, and then you compare that to like an Apollo, and you're just like, what the heck? So decrease basic physical power from 36 to 34. Decrease basic attack speed from 0.95 0.92. Yeah, these are good changes. These are very good changes. I love the where they nerfed her. Very good. Okay, Shiva. There's been enough destroyer jokes on social media to write 100 patch notes with, but the sentiment is accurate and Shiva is destroying the competition. Shiva has a huge amount of flexibility that makes him potentially viable in multiple different roles. We are hitting both his survivability as well as his scaling damage to keep him flexible while bringing him down in overall potency. Okay. This is his 1, I believe, right? Decreased physical power scaling on the initial hit. This is negligible. This doesn't even matter. Decreased physical power scaling from 50%, 45% to destruction dance per hit, which also decreases scaling. Okay, these are very, very tiny nerfs. Pillar of Dawn, decreased damage mitigation from 40% 30%. This is a much larger change here. I would say this is the bigger change out of the 3. Reduces tankiness, so you can't just sit there in his 3 and just mitigate half your damage or about half your damage. So, okay, I like it. It's good nerfs. Gilgamesh. The king is far from dead. Gilgamesh continues to be a top jungler and is receiving damage scaling nerfs to address it. We are starting to see the possibility of this god back in the solo lane, which is very exciting. Hopefully, pushing him out of the jungle through damage nerfs will let his utility still shine from other roles. Here's advance. That's the 3, right? Decrease physical power scaling, 50%, 40%. That's actually a good nerf, especially if you, for jungle builds, right? So that's actually a really good nerf. Wins a Shamas, and they did that to the ult as well. These are good nerfs. These target the jungle aspect of the god. So if you wanted to target the warrior aspect or the solo aspect of the god, they would nerf the base scaling, right, instead of the percentages. So them nerfing the percentages nerfs the carry part of the god. So you guys know. All right. Next up is Bastet. How many lives are we on? Bastet has been nerfed a few times now, each time with noticeable results. Her newfound utility is making her historically large burst damage feel clearly overtuned, much like Zeus. We are applying significantly large damage nerf to the goddess, which should put her in a better spot. Pounce, decrease base damage. Ooh, they decreased the base damage. Damn, it was 340 at max rank? Jesus, I didn't even know that. That's OP. No wonder why she got played in solo a bit. Decreased physical power scaling from 100% to 90%. This is significant damage nerfs in both her solo lane and her jungle. Good nerfs. All right, Fenrir. The best assassin support continued to be a top pick in competitive play into the new season. His ult provides a huge amount of survivability as well as a powerful and long form of crowd control. We are changing protection boost from a multiplier to flat, which will decrease the utility he gets from building full tank, and we are also decreasing the duration that he can be in his alt form, as well as the length of the CC. We will keep a close look at this god and potentially introduce more buffs in the future to move him back towards being a jungler. So they're trying to kill the assassin supports. Ragnarok. Decrease the duration of this ability from 5 seconds to 4. Decrease the time that Fenrir can hold an enemy after biting them from 2 seconds to 1.75. Supplies for its full length after the initial duration, even if Fenrir grabs someone at the last second. Now gives 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 magical and physical protection instead of 2x protections. Yeah, so they're really trying to kill him in support. Interesting. Okay. All right, they're trying to nerf in support. These will hurt him in support for sure. We'll see how it goes though. All right, that's it for the 9.2 balance bonus balance patch. We'll go into the 9.3 update. Let's take a look. This one will come out. This patch will come out in about a month. Queen of Cards is an Ame, dude. What is this skin? This is a tier 5 skin. Oh my god, they gave the Baron treat. I mean the Cthulhu treatment to Baron. That's so cool. Tier 5, dude. They just nerfed this god. Unlucky. Freeze. Oh, they got a new theme, huh? Freezy bot and Beaky bot. I guess Janice had something like this. I don't remember. Intruder bot, Cupid. Ugh, Cupid. Rambo Uller. Okay. Oh, it's a Prime Gaming skin. All right. That's cool. Primordial Punisher Anubis. Holy crap. That looks so sick. Crimson Creature Fenrir. Wow. Flare Tech Hui. That's cool too. Master of Light Merlin. That's all right. Husky Handler Scotty. All right. Pretty cool. All right, we don't care about this stuff. Custom matches, whatever. Let's go into the meat and potatoes. All about balance. Arena. Bro, is this actually arena? Oh, okay, here we go. Items. Glyphs have had a big impact on Smite across all modes and gods. These new special items seem to be generating a lot of excitement, and people are eager to see more released. As we plan glyphs for the future, most likely mid-season, we want to go ahead and implement this balance safety measure early. Each god will only be able to own one item in its glyph form at a time. Okay. Each player can now only buy one glyph total. Oh, okay. I see. Give some conquest changes. Oh, okay, yeah, I should look at that. Tier 1 and Tier 2 towers increase base damage dealt to enemy gods by 10%. Damage dealt to minions is unchanged. Ooh, I like that. I like that. A few tanks. I mean, it hurts, you know, it hurts carries too, but still, whatever. Usually we're the ones getting dove, so. Obelisk. Decrease the slight radius that the obelisk provides from 30 units to 20 units. Increase the amount of time it takes to steal an offering from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. Okay. Interesting. They're still trying to fine-tune the obelisk objective. We'll see how it plays out. Nagas. These no longer provide team gold. These no longer provide team gold, the Nagas. Bro, I didn't know that Nagas actually provided your team with gold. What? Crazy. Fix an issue where these monsters' level scaling was not capping appropriately. These will now be marked on the minimap and have the proper visual effects to convey the drop offerings. All right, they're trying to decrease the snowball. They're trying to decrease the snowball. Decrease gold and XP spooling from 12 to 11. Oh, that's arena. That's arena. Okay. Dude, it's so little. Why is it so small right here? Okay, cool. All right, they're just trying to decrease the snowballing and conquest. All right, so back to the glyphs. We already read that. Amulet of Silence. This glyph boasted a powerful effect, but was often hard to apply. With this change, it should be much more useful, ensure that it silences an enemy god much more consistently. This item will now only trigger and consume the cooldown if successfully applied to an enemy god. That's a really strong change. Really strong change. You definitely might see this get picked up against gods that are channel gods like Merlin. Gods that just can get interrupted, right? Dodgy against Dodgy, stuff like that. Dodgy's 2, Merlin's 1 on the fire stance, things like that. Thorns of Overgrowth. This better be a nerf. This better be a nerf. Buffing Thorns. Buffing Thorns. I'm just gonna make a tweet out of principle. I have to make the tweet out of principle. We're always careful with Thorns relics, possibly in season 9. We were a bit too careful. No, you were not too careful. Okay, let's just get this out of the way right now. You are not too careful. This item shouldn't even exist. Okay. In fact, we need to be more careful. And both versions seem to be on the lower end in both popularity and performance because no one wants to touch this item. Okay, this item is bad for the game. That's why. We are boosting the radius of Thorns of Overgrowth to increase the chance of additional effects are applied, while also increase the duration of Thorns of Sapping Strength to give them both a much needed buff. Ugh, I hate the wording. Literally, no one builds Thorns. Exactly, that's how it should be. They should just remove the reflect damage from the game. Increase the radius, a bonus buff from 40 to 55 units. Hate it. Thorns of Sapping Strength and increase the duration from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. Absolutely hate it. That's all I'm going to say about it. Hate it. Remove the item. Bracer of Illumination. Well, we already used the wards win games line, but it can't hurt to say it again, right? This relic provides a very unique ward that could potentially gather a lot more vision than normal, but it does come at a cost of our relic slot, so we are increasing its vision gaining abilities to help it compete. Decrease the cooldown from 100 to 90 seconds. Increase the range of the patrolling ward from 60 to 80. Increase the speed by 15% from its current speed. That's a solid buff. That's a solid buff. Maybe it'll get built. It'll get built. Solid buff. Very solid. All right, Berserker Shield. You guys were hinting at this. Let's see what it is. A major feature of this Smite update comes in the form of Berserker Shield being reworked, as well as a series of other warrior item balance changes. This shield is single-handedly driving the meta in both the jungle and solo lane. It has given life to a lot of new gods in solo, which is great, but it also keeping a lot of the same gods OP in the jungle and encourage them to build tankier than we would like. Facts. Our goal with this rework is to move the item specifically towards the solo lane. It's losing a lot of aggressive stats, specifically percent penetration, and its passive. It's almost like I said this yesterday, chat, how tank items, right? Or I'm saying tanks in general, guardians and warriors, they have such high base numbers and high scaling with levels that when you give a hybrid item percent pen, it is so over the top for their damage, and it's never balanced. It's never balanced. Voidstone, Berserker Shield, those items are just never going to be balanced if they give you power, prots, and pen. Those items can never be balanced because of how high Guardian and Warrior scaling is. Okay, you got to give them, give them flat power but no pen, right? If you want to make it a hybrid item, you cannot give them pen. It's like the dumbest thing ever to give hybrid items pen because they already have high scaling. If Warriors and Guardians didn't have high scaling or high base numbers on their abilities, then you can give a pen. But you can't give a god that has 1,000 base on a level 5 ultimate penetration. It just is so dumb. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, here we go. Warriors and Assassins often benefit from the same items, but we are trying to make a more specific stat set between jungle items and solo items. With this patch focusing on a series of buffs towards solo lanes specifically, we will continue to keep a close eye on junglers, and we will continue to make changes to items and gods to encourage assassins to play in that role and to build into higher power and penetration builds when they do. Okay, so first off, it's 200 gold cheaper, 30 physical power, 60 physical protections, 25% attack speed, 15 HP 5. Passive, you drop below 40 health, you become Berserk for 5 seconds. Berserk provides 7% mitigation, damage mitigation. Only occur once every 15 seconds. Cannot only be built by physical gods. Yeah, I'm going to build this. Listen. I'm going to build this. Straight up. Like, yes, it's less damage than Crusher. It is less damage than Crusher. It's less damage than Crusher, for sure. But it doesn't matter, chat, because this increases your survivability against jungler ganks, against aggressive supports like Horse and Fenrir, although they're trying to nerf Fenrir, right? It increases your survivability so much that you can literally just sit there and farm with impunity. Like, who cares if the physical jungler's coming over with his 15 flat pen Jotun's Wrath when you have 60 prots? Okay? And not only that, chat, you see this right here? This is all you need. Okay? This is all you need. 25% attack speed will scale your damage because your first item, chat, your first item is not an item that you buy to really scale your damage. Your first item, you buy it to survive the lane, to be allowed to farm, and to be allowed to play the game, right? The scaling, your damage scaling items as an ADC are chin size, crit percentages, attack speed, right? So the fact that this has 25% attack speed, it doesn't matter what the other stats are, right? The fact that it has a damage multiplying stat right here makes it a good first item, or makes it an item that will scale into the late game. These other stats here, whatever, right? It's good early game, but this right here means it will scale into the late game. Okay, so yes, we will do less damage than Crusher, but the trade-off is that, one, it's the same price or maybe 50 gold cheaper than Crusher. Two, the amount of survivability it gives you against being killed, where you can just sit there and farm for your late game power spikes and you're getting your actual damage items, is invaluable. Okay, so I will be building this a month from now, barring any changes. Cool. Next up, yeah, don't tell me they nerfed Aussie, bro. This item is not even good for the price. Okay, I haven't even read it yet, but it's not even good for the price. Okay, Aussie updated text to clarify how it functions differently than Berserker Shield. Aussie will reactivate immediately upon taking or dealing a hit while at low HP once it comes off cooldown. Berserker's only triggers at the time you cross into low HP. Okay, whatever. While below 35% health, you gain additional 30% lifesteal for 5 seconds. Can occur once 15 seconds. Oh, that's just the updated text, right? Okay, whatever. Blackthorn Hammer increased physical power from 25 to 30. I think that's fine. No one's been building it, right? They're trying to find the sweet spot for it. I think Blackthorn is a good... So here's my take, okay? I think the way the power creep has gone, they need to make more class-locked items, okay? Because this item, the more physical power it gives, the more junglers want to buy it, right? Because it increases their survivability so much, gives them infinite mana, and it gives them power to at least scale their damage a bit, right? It's like a good first item, good second item for junglers. And because the stats are so insane, it's like 400 health and all that stuff, right? Because the power creep has gone up so much that I think
Zap,
that
I love you and your
they
stream.
need
You've
to.
genuinely made my days more enjoyable. Zap love, zap love, zap love.
My pleasure, Garrett. My pleasure. So I think what needs to happen is they need to lock items more to the class, because this item is very good, or can be good on warriors, and it could be needed on warriors, right? But other roles buy them, and that's like the problem with a lot of items. And that's the problem with a lot of items, is that they get bought in other roles, and then they're OP on the other role because they were designed to help out a specific role. So they need to. I feel like, I don't even think it's a bad thing to lock items to certain classes, because I think it's easier on the balance, and you could be more creative with items if you lock them to the class. So I feel like eventually they're going to buff this item where he's going to get billed every game, and then back to square one. It's so hard to balance hybrid items. Anyway, next up, I think this is an okay nerf, okay buff. Next up, Spike Shield, which is the tier 2 version of Void, and some other ones. Decreased cost from 1600 to 1400, added 50 health. Void Shield still costs 2600. So they're trying to make the power spike, the tier 2 spike, a little bit better. Feels a little bit better to build Void. I think this is a very good buff, because 1600 to get a useful item, a useful tier 2 item, was a bit much. And so I think this is more reasonable. I like it. I think it's good. I think it's a good tempo change for the item. Next up, Glad Shield, increased health. That's fine. Hold on. Okay. See, okay, so Leather Cowl, increase the physical power. The big problem with Leather Cowl is they could have left it at 15 power. Okay. The problem with Cowl is not the power, right? That's one of the problems, but the bigger problem, the crux of the problem, is the mana sustain, right? You cannot compete with other hunters in lane that have Death Toll, because you run out of mana. They literally, all a Death Toll hunter has to do against a Cowl hunter is just press W at them, make them use abilities, make them jump away, and then you're just going to out sustain them with mana, because the mana sustain is so bad with Cowl. So while I do like this change, it is still tough to compete with Death Toll, because people will just, they'll have a multi-pot, right? And with Cowl, sometimes you might feel like you need to buy a mana pot. That's one thing. Two, they're just going to out-sustain you in mana, especially if you are forced to fight a lot. And since the meta in dual lane is a little bit more on the early pressure side because of all the neutral farm, that's going to matter. So while I do like this buff, I'm not sure if it still can compete with Death Toll. I will try it, see if I can get away with the low mana sustain. We'll see. It might feel good with Berserkers, because Leather Cowl has attack speed, so you can go Leather Cowl and Berserkers, and you're going to feel really good right there. And I can see attack speed builds maybe becoming the main DPS, or just crit builds are going to be better in general, because you're going to reach cap. And then maybe you can even start building Rage. I'm gonna have to talk to my math guy. It's gonna be really interesting that we have more attack speed options to build, as long as there's no changes to Berserkers before the patch goes live, right? So this patch has a month before it goes live. So Leader Cow, does this item even exist? Increased physical power. I don't even know if this item does, bro. Like, just never gets bought. But cool, more power. Solo lane item maybe. Chin size. Ooh. Decreased cost from 27 to 20. I like this a lot. This is very nice. Very nice. A lot of times it feels weird to go Chin's third, because it's, you need to stay for an extra wave or two over just getting Wind Demon. So just making it faster to buy is always a good buff, especially when it's a powerful item. Good. I like it. Yone's Ferocity. Decrease the item's internal cooldown from 60 seconds to 30 seconds. Okay. That's good for it, I guess. Katana, decreased cost from 650 to 600. Looks like they want junglers to buy this more often as a starter, maybe, or whatever. Usually when you decrease the initial cost, you want people to buy it first. because then it synergizes well with other starter items, and you can get enough pots or whatever. Thousandfold blade, they decreased that. Stone cutting. See this item here? This item doesn't need any changes because this item is already, in my opinion, OP. I think this item's already really good. But okay, I think it's whatever. People aren't buying it, so whatever. Hasten Katana, decreased cost. Okay, so they're trying to bring out the auto attack assassins, and they want them to build these items, right? Because what happens is that no one's playing auto attack assassins or not playing them that much, and they're not building these items, so they just want to see what happens. I'm thinking it's fine. Will remain at the current total cost by increasing the gold it takes to upgrade from. Yeah, that's whatever. Will remain at current total cost. Yeah, this is just stating the obvious. That'll cost more from tier 2 to tier 3 because of the cost changes. Jade Emperor's Crown, increased health from 300 to 350, increased power debuff from 10% to 15%. This item, again, is very, very dangerous to buff. Like I said, Guardians have high base numbers, right? Just look at Cerberus. He's insane. And then you add an item that makes Warriors do less damage and Hunters do less damage. It just makes the Guardians win the trades over the Warriors. So this item is like a very dangerous item to buff. We'll see what the solo laners say about it. I don't know if this is like enough to where like Warriors just become obsolete. We'll see this. I mean, the reason why this item was changed before is because Warriors were obsolete compared to Guardians. But yeah, it's a dangerous item to buff. I mean, we'll see how it goes. Oni Hunter's Garb. This item technically is like the tankiest item in the game, or close to the tankiest item in the game because of the mitigation it has. Increased the health from 100 to 200. Nice change. If you want to build or want to be tanky because the other team has really high bursty backline or something like that, then this is the item for you. So, okay, I think it's a fine buff. No one was building it, but it is a very tanky item. Hebo. Water Spout, remove the self-root on Hebo while firing this ability. Wow, that's a really big buff. Holy smokes, that is huge. The fact that you can like run up, use it while still moving, that's really good. Big buff. That is a big buff. May not seem that way, but it is a big buff. Poseidon, mana cost reduced. Trident and mana cost reduction from that. Okay. I mean, I don't really play Poseidon too much. I don't really know how the mana affects the god, but that's a small buff. We'll see what happens. Baron Samedi. Life of the party decreased self-slow from 60% to 40%. That's a big buff as well. Increased tick damage scaling from 6%. Magical power to 8%. Wow. This is a big buff. This is a big buff. You might see this god in every role, to be honest. Maybe people try him in solo support. Maybe even mid. This is this one right here, the top one, very large buff. Even the tick damage increase is very large, especially in the late game. That is actually really big buff. We'll see. I expect to see a lot more Baron, at least people trying him out. Serket, shifted damage on basic attacks that consume 2 poisons from... Shifted damage on a basic attack that consumes 2 poisons from 10% max. This is the passive. From 10% max HP to 5% plus 70% of your physical power. So this is a shift to make it more in the jungle, more of a jungler than a support. Shifted damage on basic attack consumes 2 poisons, blah blah blah. Okay. 100% of your power. Jesus. 100 damage. This might be insane in jungle. Right, like junglers have what, like 300, 400 power late game. At 300, 400 plus. Junglers are the one role, or like one of the few roles that can get 40% pen and 40% CDR in a build very easily. So not only so they're going to do 20% of my max HP as a hunter, plus another 400 damage. That's like half my HP off the passive hit. That's kind of wild. That's pretty crazy. Deathbane decreased base damage from 50, blah, blah, blah. Increased power scan. Okay, so all these changes here, just they nerf the base damage. Like I said, when you want to nerf, when you want to nerf tanks, you nerf base damage. When you want to nerf carries, you nerf the scaling. Okay, that's like the rule of thumb, or that's the general rule of thumb. So when you see in patch notes that they're buffing base damage, buffing percent, it's like the base is for warriors or like tanks, and the percent is for carries, and that goes to like the frontline gods, right? Not really the carry gods. Carry gods are a different story, but that applies generally to the frontline gods. So this is just all changing. This is all to make her less of a support, more of an assassin, more of a jungler. Same thing for everything. Decrease base, and then increase the scaling. You see that? All right. Whoa, that's a large number. I'm gonna say off the bat that she might be OP in jungle. I'm gonna say off the bat. Just looking at these numbers and doing the quick maths in the head, this might be broken. Okay, next. Thor, Anvil of Dawn. Lightning damage increased from 1525 to 20. Okay. Increase range on arc lightning. Lightning arcs. Bro, I don't even notice this damage, by the way. That's crazy. This actually makes him better in solo. By the way. This makes him better in solo. Maybe some more Thor solos. Cupid. Increased physical power scaling from 75% to 80%, 10% increase in total. Initial explosion. That's a solid buff. Decent. We'll see how it goes. Another Jingwei buff. Increase her damage per shot from 110 to 120. Okay, that's nice. I can see Jingwei becoming more and more of a meta god because of Berserker shield as well, right? She's already hard to kill, and then even if you get on her, she's going to be tanky as hell. So I can see her actually becoming a meta god if these changes stay the way they are with the items. I don't know. I think when an item like Berserker becomes available to hunters, it really changes a lot of things. Poison darts decrease cooldown. I mean, whatever. X-Ball needs an ultimate rework to even be considered. Frostbath decrease cooldown from 16 seconds and it scales downward. Okay, it's a nice buff. Jing Chen, Sky Cutting Axe, increased protection buff from blah 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 blah. Increased duration of the protection buff. Okay, this is nice. Just makes him tankier in general. They want people to build him more. I mean, play him more. Cthulhu increased base damage. Wow, that's a lot. 90 to 270 to 100 to 300. That's a good amount. Solid buff for Cthulhu. Will help him a lot. Why do they need to rework X-Ball up? Because it's either OP, like when it has a stun, or it's useless, like it is now in its current form. Kukulin. And it's an ultimate that's extremely hard to balance, in my opinion. Kukulin. Berserk, increase health shield from 10 plus 10 per level to 10 plus 15 per level. Okay, small, but noticeable. Salmon's Leap, Furious Charge, decrease cooldown from 16 seconds to 15 seconds. Yeah, very small buffs. I mean, Kukulin has a powerful kit, so I agree with small buffs to see where he lands. Yeah, all right. That's it for, what was that, 9.3? That's it for 9.3. Very interesting changes. Hope you guys enjoyed my insight. And yeah, this patch will be live in about a month. All right. Thank you. All right, chat. Interesting patch. I guarantee you, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they change Berserkers or something like that. But I don't think they should. I think it's good for hunters. We're not going to be doing damage. It's not like a good early game damage item. But I don't know. I like it personally because we've been getting shit on for too long. Bro, the thing is like, if they don't want us to build Berserkers, we need to have better options. Like, you know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, we don't have good options early game. Like, Devos is trash. Crusher is like okay. It's not even that good of an item in general. They nerfed Ichabod to Oblivion. We don't have something better than Berserker.
Speaking of Jing buffs.
Yo, Susado, thank you so much. Coming right up. But like, we don't have like an item that we can't go without, right? Like if Devos was a must-buy item, for example, you know, we wouldn't buy Berserkers first. But it's not. It's not there yet. It's not that good of an item. So, you know, if they want us to not build these items, then we need better alternatives. We don't have them. Late laning phase? No, because someone's going to outclear someone, Vic.